All right, thanks a lot. I'd send it out to the planning board.
Okay, I can send it out to them.
Bye. Bye. Cameron, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you going to do the recording and letting people in, or do you want me to?
I can do the recording and letting people in. That's no big deal. I'm
Okay.
just sending that the email now.
Okay, good. Now, let's see, is it chat on? Host tools. So the React for raise hand is there. And I'm not sure I see the chat.
And so instead of a chat, it's a Q&A at the bottom there.
Okay.
And they can ask questions to that, and then co-hosts and hosts can see it and respond. And I'll mention it if I see anything in the chat, and we can read it.
Okay, Q&A. I don't see what is that next to?
It's next to the recording buttons and the more. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll make you co-hosts. There you are.
There I am. Thank you.
No worries.
Hear me? It's Blair.
Yep.
Okay,
Hi,
good.
Blair.
Somehow I was not invited in as a member of the group.
Yeah.
But now I am. Thank you.
I think the best thing is to ask people to raise their hands. I don't see the, which is under React. Play chime for raised hands, recognize hand gestures. I don't see the Q&A. I see more, but there's nothing to the, oh, under more. Yes, I do see that.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Andrea here tonight or is she gone already?
Andrea is gone already.
You know, it turns out my niece bought the house right next to her on Naples Road.
Oh, is that funny?
It's great. It's really great. No, it's perfect. I think they'll like each other a lot. I'm going to get a glass of water and I'll be right back.
Sure.
We still have a few more minutes. How you doing, Polly?
Good. Very good. How are you? How was your weekend?
We're having a meeting around the Chestnut Hill Commercial Area Study
Mhm.
downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yeah, with Michael Rubenstein wanted to meet with the neighbors. So
Uh-huh. So you,
here I'm coming up here now.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I understand there's a meeting with the committee later. I don't know what it's next
September,
week.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna be around for that. I think it's the 15th.
Oh, right, you're going to be
Gone, yeah.
away from the 5th to the 24th. Where are you going?
We're going to the Dolomite Alps in Italy to hike for, I think it's 9 days. Martha says 10 days, but one or the other, it's gonna be a lot of walking.
You're hiking?
Yeah, from Refugio to Refugio.
Great.
Was it the 5th to the,
I leave Sunday and come back the 24th.
okay,
Okay, so it looks like we have a quorum. Thank you, Tommy and Matt.
Hello, how you doing?
Do you know if Steve's going to be here?
I hadn't heard that he wasn't going to be here.
Okay. So the only person who will not be in attendance will be Andrea?
Right.
Okay.
We'll give him, well, it's not actually, it just, let me look at my phone.
It's 7:28 according to my computer.
So he,
By the way, I did call into the housing meeting. I forget why we were invited to that, but 35 minutes in, they were still talking about funding locations for funds. Is like, I don't know what's just happening. So I had to drop off. They didn't get anything related to planning by that point.
all right.
Mark is here.
Yes, I always have to remember to press my little arrow to see everyone.
Okay. Mic is off. Maybe you need to invite him to be a member, a panelist.
Yep. Should be all set now.
I think you've all met Cameron James, who's our new zoning coordinator / planner, and he's.
Cameron, I don't think I've met you before, but nice to see
Well,
you.
I don't mean in person, but online, but maybe you haven't.
Okay.
He's been great. Um, he's kind of filling in for both Becca and Nicole. Although he is going on vacation. Where are you going again, Cameron?
I'm going to Japan in next week.
Oh,
very cool. I know 3 people going there.
Oh yeah?
Ava, yeah, well, Andrea's going, and my sister-in-law is going, and I'll think of the other ones, but anyway, it's a great place to go.
Although he'll have to get over his jet lag when he gets back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
He's
know,
young, he can get over it quickly.
right. Is this your first time?
Yep, it'll be my first time.
Great.
Can you speak any Japanese?
Not even a little bit, so
Mm.
You just, a couple nods are good.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna start the recording and then we can start the meeting.
Okay, great.
Yep, all set.
Did I miss an introduction? Hi, Cameron.
Hi, Steve.
are.
Have you met Cameron James?
I have not.
He is our new zoning coordinator planner, and he's fulfilling not only Nicole's role, but Becca's role for now. And luckily, things are light in terms of cases, but we're working well together. And of course, Maria is the senior planner.
Welcome, Cameron. Sorry I missed it. I guess you just did that just before I came on, but
Nice to meet you.
welcome to Brookline, Cameron.
Thank you.
He's from Connecticut.
So let's get started. It's a meeting tonight of the Brookline Planning Board, and we're doing ZBA cases. And I think the first item is any comments or issues that are not on the agenda. Polly, do you have anything to report?
Well, actually, at noon today, the warrant closed, but I was supposed to get a list of those articles that were submitted, but I didn't get it yet. So I will look into it tomorrow and Monday, and I will send you the list. But I can tell you that there is a zoning warrant article for 2 Clark Road, which is the Maimonides building. That is an empty school building, not being used. It's a smaller building. And there's going to be a proposal to allow residential use there. And then also there's a very minor thing about family daycare. The state has passed a law saying that even large family daycare has to be allowed by right. And so we're just changing the zoning to conform to the state law. And the third thing that I believe was submitted had to do with dark skies, but it's a much more pared back bylaw, and it's going to be a general bylaw, I believe. So once I get copies of those, I will get them to you, and
Is that change
we
of
will go
zoning,
ahead and set up for probably the beginning.
is the change of zoning for the Maimonides building just limited to that building, or is it going to be a larger area that allows for?
Just that law,
Isn't
but
the site already residential in that area?
no, it's an
Oh.
empty building. It's
Across the
one,
street is residential for sure. Yeah.
but one lot off Route 9. And it does have a square piece of land next to it that's vacant. So it's unclear whether they might possibly divide that off and have townhouses there. Jeffrey Allen is the attorney for the applicant, and they've apparently met with the neighborhood, and the neighborhood was very positive. So you'll hear more about that later. And Cameron is going to start with introducing the first case, 27 White Place.
Okay, so the 27 White Place application is they're proposing to add a 2nd-story addition on the rear side of the house, which currently has a 1-story addition in it. The lot is 0.5 acres. It's an undersized, and the structure is a pre-existing non-conforming to its side setbacks, or both its side setbacks and its rear lot setbacks. So the special permits, it needs 2 special permits for the side lot. It needs a special permit for the side lot setbacks and for the rear lot setbacks. Again, it's non-conforming in both of these setbacks, and the application doesn't change the side setbacks at all. It affects no setbacks basically, because it's just adding on to the already existing structure. So there's no additional, it's not increasing the non-conformity at all. We have some staff proposed conditions, but the planning staff is amenable to the application, again, because it's not expanding any of the non-conforming uses. It'll be the exact same conditions that exist now will be the exact same conditions when the project is complete as proposed.
And who's here? Is the applicant's architect here to present the plans?
If he or she is, please let us know. And you can use the React feature or put something in the chat. There's a hand up. Andrew Falkenstein, of course, who is
Hi.
architect.
And you should be all set.
Great, thank you. Good evening, members of the board and chairman. My name is Andrew Falkenstein. I'm an architect with an office in Brookline Village. As Cameron just stated, this is a request for a special permit for the extension of existing non-conforming conditions on one side and one rear setback. We're simply going up with a 1-story addition over the existing 1-story addition. I will share my plans in a second. A little background. We have a family of 4 with 2 young but growing children who just bought the house about a year ago. The house has 3 small bedrooms, but only 1.5 bathrooms. And because the parents would like to have an office in one of those bedrooms, they'd like a master with a bathroom. We are only adding 290 square feet. The existing house has 1,238 square feet of gross floor area for a family of 4. And we would result with 1,528 square feet for the family of 4. So this is not by any means a large house. I'll share my screen right now. Okay. Does everyone see the cover sheet?
Yes,
Okay. I think everyone is quite aware where White Place is. This house is on the north side of the street. We've, again, existing 1,238 square feet. The basement has about 5.5 feet of headroom. That'll never be a usable space. But there's an existing flat roof. Site plan, we're talking about this part of the house right here. And our special permit conditions are along this side and along this side in the rear here. Essentially, what we're doing is we're proposing to add over the existing kitchen and dining area. And what we would have is, I don't know how in there. I don't know how that disappeared, but basically we'd have a master suite right here in this area. Let's see, let's keep going. So existing front of the house, existing side, we would be adding, it's a flat roof, so we're not even losing a nice pitched roof or gable roof. We're actually getting rid of a flat roof and replacing it with a pitched roof. This is the elevation from the rear. This is what we would be building on top of. From the side. Okay, so this is the proposed suite, squeezing a closet, a bathroom, and a bedroom in over the kitchen. There is a slight cantilever, which I'll show you in a second. But the cantilever does not affect side yard setback because we're good on that side. Opening up the hallway to connect this new master suite. Modest proposal, but within design review, we would be adding a 24-inch deep canopy to the front of the house to give it some more presence and to cover the front door, which currently has no covering. Okay, so this is a side view of the addition. A gable roof. We do have a skylight here. This sliding patio door is existing to remain. This window here is existing to remain. We add 2 columns to give it so that it doesn't, just look like a cantilevering blob, and also to provide support. From the back, it looks like this. Where again, we had a flat roof back here. We've maintained and matched the pitch of the existing roof. We do step it down here so we don't have a complete run-on. So although there's only really one party in the world who can see this elevation, we did want to break up the mass a little bit. And that is my presentation.
Okay. Members of the board, thoughts?
Yeah, I have a couple of comments. Could you put the second floor plan up again, Andrew?
Sure.
I don't have any issue with this from a zoning perspective, but I wonder why you wouldn't put a window in the bathroom. That's one comment.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you why. We can't put it in this rear wall because we're about 3.5 feet from the rear yard, and the building code doesn't allow it. what we've done instead, Steve, is we've done a skylight here. Let's look at the elevation.
Yeah, I'm looking at that wall, you know, where you have.
Yeah, so
already a window
let's
from
look
the
at that.
bedroom.
That could be a really good idea. Yeah, you know, we had talked about a skylight. I didn't want to overdo it, but I think a small window, you know, with a 4'6" sill height. I think it's important to note that this wall, the head height here is not a full 6'8" on these windows. And in fact, in my rear elevation, yeah, we have about 6 foot, we have about 5 foot high knee walls actually. This dimension line looks like it's snapped a little bit. So we don't have a full height here. And as you can see here, Steve, this dotted line is the existing window, which is going to be patched to make way for this. So assuming this existing window is at 6'8", or in this house, more likely 6'6", you can see that our top plate is closer to 5 feet, 4'8". That might be one reason why we didn't put a window in. But we can definitely do something, and we can frost the glass.
You could also put a kind of an eyebrow type dormer there to give yourself more head height in those areas. If not, you know, change the slope of the roof, but I mean, just
Yep.
window, an eyebrow dormer that just pops that window. That's one thought. And then the other thought, while you have that rear elevation on, I don't know, I know you would have to relocate the access to the basement, and which might cost a bit of money, but it would seem to me that you have such a tight kitchen dining area that rather than cantilevering the second floor, I would recommend to my clients to bring the first floor out to that same dimension and expand. I don't know exactly where the kitchen cabinets are. They don't show on your drawing. I'm guessing this is where the dining area is because you have that patio door, whereas the kitchen cabinets are on the opposite wall. But I'd be tempted to widen the first floor to the same dimension as the second floor.
That's a good point. I think there's a couple things going on. The site plan will show that the patio directly in front of these patio doors is really not that wide. You know, it's quite a narrow patio, and bringing it out the 4 feet, I think would constrict that. But more importantly, for economics, they wanted to retain this existing bulkhead. This existing bulkhead, which is dotted in, is now that it's covered, we're able to remove the bulkhead doors, so it will become an areaway, and there'll be a railing here. And for simplicity, I didn't put the railing here, but there'd be a railing right here, and this would be the areaway, which is a concrete bulkhead, which is not too old. It's not, you know, it's less than 20 years old. So the thought was to leave the bulkhead there, but get rid of the doors so that visually you're opening up the patio a bit more. Additionally, they did some work, and the homeowner is on the on this evening. They could speak more, but they did some work to the kitchen previously, and they underpinned this foundation. There is no basement under this. This is a slab on grade. And I think originally it didn't even have footings. And so when they did some work to their kitchen, on this side, they actually underpinned the existing slab. Now they didn't do the work on the other side because there's very little clearance. And the thought would be that with the additional load that we're placing with the second story, that they would underpin the other side of this first story structure. But I think that's the reason. But I'm more than happy to take you to the site plan and show you just how little patio space they have.
Yeah, I hadn't sort of considered the flip side of losing outdoor space.
Yeah, let's look at this.
Limited.
Okay.
Mr.
So if you see
Andrew,
right
I
here,
don't-
Steve, this right here is a retaining wall. So we're talking, you know, we're talking maybe 10 feet, 12 feet to the overhang. So, and then parking consumes this space right here. We're in a 2,000 square foot lot. I think actually possibly sub 2,000 square feet.
Okay, Andrew, I get your point, and I
Yeah.
can see that they have limited space, but I do think a second floor bathroom window, even with an eyebrow, would actually improve the side
Okay.
elevation and
I will take it to the homeowners and very happy to add that.
that's it for me.
Okay.
Linda, Matt, Mark, any other comments?
I had just a couple. This is very similar to an addition that was put on down the street at 14 White Place. It's a sweet little house. I'm glad there's an opportunity to expand it. I like Steve would second an eyebrow dormer. I have one in my attic bathroom, and it actually gives quite nice headspace and natural light.
Okay.
The skylight's okay, but there's nothing better than a window if you can do it, particularly because you can open it.
Mhm.
And my only comment, I walked down that street a lot. I was just doing it on Google Earth. There are no other single-family homes that have a pitched entry canopy. Most of them are bracketed, low pitch. Is there a reason you went with the geometry you did
There-
rather than kind of looking at the
Yes,
precedents?
most, and I believe she's on. So I actually designed a shed canopy. But the homeowner very much wanted a pitched one to match the roof. And if they would like to jump on, I know that the husband is on. I'm not sure if the wife is on. He can maybe speak to that, but I thought it should be a shed. But they wanted a pitched canopy.
Well, with a shed, unless you have a gutter, you're dripping water on yourself as you're stepping into your front door.
Yeah, most of them on the street aren't sheds. They're just a simple low pitch flat canopy with two brackets. If you look on Google Earth, you can.
Yes,
Did that come up at reservation? Did they, and knowing that this is a historic street with some kind of designation, and I forget exactly what it is.
National Register.
Yeah, did they bring up anything about being sympathetic to the existing?
No, we've been approved by the Preservation Commission, and they had no comments on the design.
Okay, again, I have no problem if it came up, because it is the only one of its kind on the street.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mark, do you have any comments?
I was gonna just ask the question if you've thought about, a flat hatch for the areaway to get down to the basement, so you could just basically open up a little bit more space unless you really want to look into, the cellar area.
Right. So here's the existing bulkhead, and we thought that it would be nice, if we put a railing here and just opened it up, it might feel better. But and that was a conversation we had with the client. Already has a contractor picked out, and we discussed that.
No, I heard you, and I'm not suggesting you change it. I'm just suggesting that you might want to reconsider it and have a flat hatch there.
Okay.
Because you can put pavers on it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, a flat hatch.
Sure.
And unless you really want to look down into that space, you could have more of a flat area.
Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss that too.
I mean, they make them, you can put pavers on top, you can put wood on top, you can make it a wood deck partially.
Okay.
If it's very flexible, if in fact, you look at that.
Okay. All right.
I suspect that'll fill with moisture over time, particularly snow melt. So if you take it off, make sure there's a drain at the bottom of that stairwell.
Yeah.
Okay, before we take public comment, I think the only comment I would add to my colleagues is these are suggestions, these are not requirements. And I don't hear any of us having any objection to the second floor. But let's take public comment. Looks like Mr. Grenier has his hand raised.
Host now, so maybe.
Hi there. So sorry, we were trying to click the buttons and it wasn't working. So we're the owners of the home, and we are happy to answer any of the questions about the design choices, the reason why we do them. But we're also happy to just say thank you for your time.
Well, I think these are suggestions for you to consider. No one's making this requirement.
Okay.
I think there's some practical issues. I think Mark brought up one, and I think that Matt as well, or Steve rather, about the eyebrow, but um, are there?
Yeah, sorry, we'll gladly consult with Andrew
Yeah,
about all that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And any further public comments? Do we see any further? Then, if not, could you put up the conditions so we can make a motion?
Yeah, I can share the conditions.
Thanks, Cameron.
Does Andrew have to stop sharing in order for you to do?
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if he could, I can pull him up in 2 seconds.
Okay, I stopped.
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone see that? Here are the staff proposed conditions. I can read them out as well.
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan by Michael Clancy, dated February 27, 2025, and architectural plans by Andrew Fulkenstein, dated May 22, 2025, with under the following conditions. 1, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit final floor plans and elevations stamped and signed by a registered architect, and a final site plan stamped and signed by a registered engineer or land surveyor to the Director for Regulatory Planning or designee for review and approval. 2, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit a landscape plan subject to the approval by the Director for Regulatory Planning. The counterbalancing amenities must be executed in accordance with the approved plan. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit to the building commissioner for review and approval. A, the floor plans, site plans, and elevations displaying the approval stamp of the Director for Regulatory Planning. B, evidence that the Board of Appeals decision has been obtained from the town clerk's office by the applicant or their representative and recorded at the Registry of Deeds. Do I have a second?
Second.
Matt seconds it. All in favor, Matt?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tommy?
Aye.
Linda?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So good luck with this. One thing, I just want to make a comment about the landscaping plan. I wonder if we want to look at that at some point or not, or is that just something, Polly, you're going to take care of?
Yeah, I'll look at it. If I have any questions, I can run it by you, but
Okay.
it's a very small lot, so.
Yes, I agree. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your service to the town.
Good luck with it. And next case, please.
Yes, the next case is 56 Spooner Road, and they're going to be adding several additions to different parts of the house, one on the left, one on the right, and one on the rear side. This is in a local historic district, the Chestnut Hill North Local Historic District. So the Preservation Commission does have jurisdiction over the design. And they had no problem with it. So they'll be replacing the porch on the left elevation with a 2-story addition, constructing a 1-story addition which will wrap around the rear to enlarge the kitchen, and they're constructing a 1-story mudroom at the center of the rear elevation. The relief that they need is only for FAR, and it can be granted by special permit because they're within the 120% bonus that is allowed. They're just within that, and therefore a special permit can be issued. And with that, I will turn it over to either,
Mr. Burke, I think.
yeah, Mr. Burke. Thank you, Blair. Okay, we have to make,
You have to allow him to share.
yeah.
Yeah, Timothy Burke is able to share now.
Isn't John Chapman the architect for this project? Tim Burke is
Oh, did I make a mistake?
the architect for.
So I have John Chapman written down here. He's also has ability to share now.
Yeah, it's not me.
Okay, great.
I'll see you later, Mr.
I think
Bird.
I conflated two projects, my mistake.
Yeah, it's John Chapman, and he has the ability to share too as well.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Hello. I'm not in a place where I can share the drawings. Cameron, are you available to?
I can share the drawings. Yep.
For the record, could you,
Hold on.
your name and address, please, Mr. Chapman?
My name is John Chapman. I'm an architect in at 45 Hampshire Road in Wellesley.
Thank you.
So this project is in a zone S10 in a historic district. We've been through preservation and been approved for that by that board. The project, although it has many parts, is largely compliant with all the zoning except FAR, as mentioned earlier. The existing FAR, shall we go to the, do you have the engineer site plan there
Site plan.
by Field Resources? There we go.
This one. Here. Okay.
So the table on this drawing shows the full compliance with all aspects of setbacks and height restrictions and usable space. On the left is the existing conditions, and on the right, highlighted in gray, are the proposed additions. The L-shaped addition on the rear is a one-story. The small addition in the rear is a mudroom addition, one-story, and the rectangle on the left is a two-story, replacing the existing screen porch. The screen porch right now is actually more, it's a one-story plus a sleeping porch on the second floor, so there is some actual mass, which does not contribute to FAR, but it does contribute to the massing. And so the proposed new addition on the left, which is the largest of the additions, is actually a smaller footprint than the existing. It's been reduced by setting it back in the front and the rear and maintaining the dimension on the left side yard. The calculation for the FAR is on the architectural page 1.1. You go to that one. Here we go, the colors, yes. So the FAR calculation, the existing, let's see, zoning compliant. The existing FAR is 3238. The proposed new square footage is 854, totaling 4,092. Of the 854, some of it is actually in the basement. Ordinarily, that would not contribute, but because it becomes, because the area under the left-hand addition will be used as a exercise room, it becomes habitable space. And so the stair and the egress are also required to be contributing to the FAR. So that's a little bit of a anomaly in terms of FAR calculation. The so of that 854, 330 of it is in the basement. So really, we're talking about contributing roughly 500 square foot of FAR that's visible. Some large aspect of it is actually the replacement of that screen porch. So that is a mitigating factor also. And I will invite now, I think that homeowners, Jess and Jesselyn Tushin, if they wanted to speak. about the project.
Can we, Mr. Chairman, can we see the elevations? Could you get, before we hear?
Yeah, again, Cameron, if you could go to drawing 6.6, 7, and 8.
I'm sorry, 6, 7, 8. This is these
Yes,
three?
there we go,
Okay.
right.
We'll start at 6.
6 is the front elevation, existing and proposed. So you can see that on the left-hand side of the existing, there's a screen porch and a sleeping porch above it. And we're just replacing that very close to the similar, in fact, a reduced footprint with a library and a bathroom above it. On the right-hand side is an extension of the existing kitchen, and that's significantly to the rear, so it doesn't protrude anywhere near towards the street side. If you go to 7, this is the the left side elevation. So we're looking at, again, at the bottom elevation, the sleeping porch above a screen porch being replaced by that library with a bathroom. And then the existing L comes out of the back of the house. We're just simply extending that for a breakfast room and the mudroom in the foreground. And then finally on drawing 8, the right side elevation, what we're looking at really is, I'm sorry, this is the rear elevation. So in the rear, we're seeing on the left-hand side that kitchen extension pop out to the side and the library replacing the sleeping porch. There's a small alcove that's in the rear center, which is being increased in size to make it a more usable mudroom. And then finally, I think drawing number 9. This is before and after on the right side. And what we're really seeing here is the extension of the kitchen and breakfast room.
Okay. Very good. Any questions from the members of the planning board?
I have just one question on drawing nomenclature. Sheet 5 is called optional attic plan. Is there any work happening up there?
Yes, the bathroom is being renovated, interior only.
Okay, but it's not optional in terms of the approval. It's part of this project.
It was optional in terms of the owner's discretion of wanting to.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
I have one question. Again, I don't have an issue with the zoning, but can you put up the main floor plan with the addition?
There you go.
Especially, you have the outline of the existing structure in red, dotted in red there, and then you have this very large open kitchen, breakfast, and sitting area, which is like something like 22 feet in one direction and 28 feet in the other direction. Are you supporting this existing structure above in some sort of beams in the ceiling? You're not showing any columns or anything to maintain this upper floors of the house.
Yeah, the intent is to do it structurally with steel beams or LVL beams, yes.
Like between the fireplace and the windows overlooking the terrace, or, you know?
It's going to have to be a cross pattern
because pretty big spans.
Pardon?
I'm sure there's a way to do it, but those are pretty big spans.
Yeah, they are, and we're going to have to probably. That's why I alluded to the idea of steel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Other questions or comments from board members?
Yeah, one other thing. So the existing structure there's kind of a rough stucco and a kind of a dark beige. In the window casing, it's a trim is kind of a dark green. And what you're adding is going to be clapboard. I'm just curious how you're going to treat the new components with respect to the existing materials and colors. We don't usually get into color, but this is kind of an unusual combination of materials.
Well, in this case, we went back and forth with the Historic Commission, and they emphasized the desire not to try to match the stucco, but instead try to match some of the more elaborate materials that are existing on the rear. And so we made the distinction between the existing historic structure, which is the stucco box, and then these appendages, which are not actually clapboard, they're shingle.
Oh, okay.
And so all the appendages, therefore, would be wood, contrasting with the original historic box. It was felt that by the historic folks, especially, that the addition on the left that's replacing the sleeping porch and screen porch should be more stick-like and simulate that kind of feeling of the sleeping porch and not try to be a heavy mass that would match the stucco of the house. And when we went back a second time with them, they applauded that this had that effect that they were looking for. I'll say the one condition that they had put on us with regard to their approval was the relocation of the mechanical equipment. We struggled to find a place that was the most discreet and acoustically appropriate. And so that's located on the back side of the library on the first floor, moving it away from the right-hand side set, because that's the closer neighbor is on the right-hand side.
Okay, thank you.
Other comments from the members of the board?
I think it's well done.
Are there any public comments, Cameron? If there are, please raise your hand in the share feature. Tommy?
Can't unmute.
Hey, Tommy, you're all set now.
Thank you. That was all. I just, I also think it's a good design, but thank you.
Okay, I'm hearing no comments from the public. Cameron, could you put up the conditions for approval?
Yep. Just these two.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the site plan by Field Resources dated July 14, 2025, and architectural plans by John Chapman Architect dated July 23, 2025, with the following conditions. 1. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit final floor plans and elevations stamped and signed by a registered architect and a final site plan stamped and signed by a registered engineer or land surveyor to the Director for Regulatory Planning or designee for review and approval. 2. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit to the building commissioner for review and approval A, the floor plans, site plans, and elevations displaying the approval stamp of the Assistant Director for Regulatory Planning, and B, evidence that the Board of Appeals decision has been obtained from the town clerk's office by the applicant or their representative and recorded at the Registry of Deeds. Do I have a second?
Second.
Matt seconds it. All in favor, Matt?
Aye.
Tommy?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Mark?
I
Linda?
Aye.
And I think I got everyone. Then the chair votes aye. Good luck with this, and thank you.
Thank you very much to all members of the board.
The next case is
Next case is 660 Chestnut Hill, correct?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. So 660 Chestnut Hill, this is an application that's proposing a two-story addition in the rear for additional living space. The house currently has 1,300 square feet divided between two floors. The new addition adds 185 square feet to the first and 200 square feet to the second floor. So there is a little bit of an overhang. The second floor is a bit bigger than the first floor. The total square footage of the house with the proposal is 1705. One of the restrictions on this property is that there is a large shared driveway that's shared with the neighbor, as well as a garage that's shared with the neighbor. But the overhang, the fact that the first floor is smaller is to allow space for that shared driveway. It is currently the side lot setback currently is non-conforming, and so that's why it needs a special permit despite not adding anything to the sides. In fact, the new addition is further from the sides than the current house, the current structure is. And then the floor area ratio increase is currently non-conforming, and because it's an expanding use and expanding the FAR, it does need a special permit for that as well. It's a minimal increase to the floor area to an already pretty small house, and it's already non-conforming within the side setbacks. So the planning staff doesn't see any reason to drastically change this application. And I believe this is Bob Allen's case, and I think that's why Ashley Duvall is here, so she can present further information.
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Cameron, for that overview of this proposal. For the record, Ashley Duvall, I'm a planner at Our Law, 300 Washington Street. On with me this evening is Philip Kramer, the architect. I believe he's having difficulty turning on his video and accessing the audio, so
It should be all
whatever
set now.
magic you could work there, that's great. And well, oh, great, there he is. Also on this night, on with me tonight is the homeowner, Shira Hefner, I think I see her in one of my squares. So she lives in the home with her, I believe, 11-year-old twins. And as Cameron described, the house is a bit small, and it feels like it's getting smaller as the kids get bigger. Also on this evening are Shira's parents, who live across the street. So Shira actually grew up in this neighborhood. So is obviously very excited when she could get a home in the neighborhood that she grew up with. So there's lots of reasons why she wants to stay. And I think Philip's done a really nice job making a pretty modest addition to the home. It's, I think, in total 385 square feet, section 6. I'll also just note that the lot is severely undersized. This is the S15, so 15,000 square feet are required, and I think this lot is under 5,000 square feet. So that's part of why the FAR is showing up so much over what's allowed, just because the lot size is so small. So with that, I'll turn it over to Philip, and he'll just go through the plans with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Good evening, everyone. My name is Philip Kramer. I'm the architect for this project. My office is in Brookline Village. As Ashley has said, this is a pretty simple, straightforward project, or we think it is. The house is 660 square feet on each of 2 floors for 1,300 square feet, not very big. As she noted, the twins, I think they might be 12 now, but they're certainly growing and taking up more and more space. I've been in there a few times when there's been, I swear, 50 pairs of shoes floating on entry. Shira and her family have been in this house for about 5 years. And we are looking to get a little bit more space and a second full bathroom. Right now there's 1.5 bathrooms, and for 3 people, especially 2 teenagers, I think we all know that's not really enough. The addition we're proposing, I'll put it up in a moment, is at the rear of the house. It is set in from the existing house about 1 foot on each side and under the roof. This addition encroaches less on the setbacks because of that than the existing house does. I think Ashley might have just mentioned this. There's a shared driveway, which is quite a challenge. There's a shared garage as well, which is so tight that they don't use it. And so to sort of try to make that work a little bit better and not lose the parking that they have, the first floor is slightly smaller than the second floor. The second floor overhangs it a bit to allow literally Shira to open her car door. Preservation has reviewed this and deemed it not historically significant. And with that, if I can share, I will put the drawings up. can you see that or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can see the plans and your desktop
It's-
as well.
It's showing in an odd way online. Okay. So this is the house, the view with the house in the street, front yard. This is the shared driveway on the left. This is the site survey.
Phil, is it possible to hit the green to expand it so it's a little bit bigger? Would that be helpful?
Yeah. Is that better? That's as big as it goes on mine. Is that bigger?
I think so. That's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here's the existing house. The proposed addition is in red, hatched in red back here. This is the garage. You can see this lot line runs right down this middle of this shared driveway. And this little 1.5 feet indicated right here setback of the first floor below the second floor. This is the existing basement plan. I'll go through these quickly unless someone wants me to stop. Existing first floor plan, very simple, roughly 22 by 30 with a slight bay in the small bay in the living room. Second floor is 3 smallish bedrooms, one of which is used as an office, workroom, laundry, all that stuff. Basement with a new foundation. And so here's what we're proposing at the rear, not in view of the street particularly, is this addition that is 10 feet by, I think it's 18.5 feet. And it's a new mudroom, a little sitting room, and coming in off the driveway and a little landing back to the backyard. We're not doing any renovations in the existing first floor. On the second floor, the addition is slightly larger. It's 10 feet by 20 feet, another 1.5 feet. And we are rearranging some of the second floor, but not the bedrooms at the front. There's a walk-in closet, a new bathroom. We're not touching the existing bathroom, a small laundry, and the expanded bedroom for Shira's son and the expanded bedroom for herself. Roof plan. This is the existing front elevation. We're not changing it. Existing north, which is facing the shared driveway. There's a covered porch at the back. Existing south, we're taking off this covered porch. We'll see in a moment. And the existing south elevation. Proposed north is the same. The proposed north elevation, again, the shared driveway side, this is the addition, set back a foot here and a foot below the main roof. And it is just this right here with the small entrance canopy at the rear. And this is the edge of the garage, which is forward of the proposed entry roof, so they're not actually as close as they look. The rear elevation, again, a very straightforward elevation. You can see this little jog here to get a little bit of extra room for getting in and out of the car. This little entry roof. The south elevation, again, this is the addition here. Bedroom windows, sitting area windows, that little roof, and the garage. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Kramer, did you prepare any kind of parking diagram that shows that this will in fact be able to be parked? Because you said that she doesn't actually, owner doesn't actually use the garage, is that correct?
That is correct.
So they park in the area that's going to be directly adjacent.
They park right here. And without the addition, they pull over as far to the right as they can so they can open their car doors. So we're preserving that, but they basically park on their side of that line. She would tell me they can, I think, get in and out of the garage, but it's so challenging. It's that they don't even do it.
Okay. And I assume that the owners have discussed this with a butter to the left who shares the driveway. Is that correct?
So we've reached out to them. I think they're gone a lot, but none of what is being proposed changes anything about the site circulation or impacts their property. We have reached out and they've gotten letters and we've not heard from them.
I see. Thank you. Comments from members of the planning board?
I looked as a residential architect, I looked at the second floor. If you can get the second floor plan up. Usually don't encourage people to build more, but one of my first jobs was doing affordable housing and had to meet the guidelines of the state, where any bedroom had to have in any direction a minimum of 9'6", or 10'6".
Wow.
So I just wondered if you had considered, the overhanging, instead of putting a little canopy, cantilevering over your first floor and gaining a little more space. That's all.
We had not. I mean, I really honestly hadn't thought of that. We were trying to keep it to a minimum because the back of this lot is very steeply sloped.
Right.
They have a very nice little patio that they use quite a bit, and I did not want to keep encroaching.
No,
on...
it wouldn't be on the first floor. It'd be
I realize the second floor wouldn't do that, but no.
You would cover the entry way that way. It's just, it's sort of it's minimal. If you gained a foot or two and you were able to cover your entryway, it's probably making right now the bedroom number 3 is the largest bedroom in the house. So the master suite is just oddly shaped. That's all. I mean, I'm fine with the project. I'm sympathetic to this. I just that would be a strategy I would look at.
I mean, if I may, I'll respond. I mean, one of the things we looked at was the primary bedroom. There's the area that's in the new addition is for the bed, and the area that's inside the door is a dresser and so forth, and it's sort of changing room.
Right.
So got a separation.
Yep.
When I even looked at the overhanging it towards the driveway,
not that way.
No. I understand. But sort of the little pieces sticking out here and there, and the garage is awfully close. I wind up I'm sorry, the garage did not show on here. It's right here.
Right.
And I don't want to encroach on that any further, but it's a good thought. I think we just didn't go there.
Okay.
Other comments? Are there any public comments?
I have a question not related to the project, which I think is fine. Is there anything about during construction when the driveway is shared that we have to have a condition that the driveway not be used for construction vehicles or anything around that? I've never seen a shared driveway like this where one party was renovating, the other party wasn't, but
I think that's all handled at the building permit phase. The building department wants to see. It's not an uncommon condition in Brookline for these tight driveways, and so there's a way forward.
But we don't need to require like a construction management. I mean, it's a small project. I just curious.
I've not seen the construction management plan for a single family residential addition. No.
We did talk about that, or at least I was thinking about it a bit of like how we will manage that. And part of it's easier because the neighbors are there less than 6 months or approximately 6 months a year. But obviously we need to manage it.
6 months in a day, Philip. Is that how often?
We'll flip it right in.
So.
If there's no further comments, Cameron, could you put up the conditions, please?
Oh, let me stop sharing this.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the site plan by Dennis O'Brien dated July 11, 2025, and architectural plans by Philip Kramer dated August 1, 2025, with the following conditions. 1. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit final floor plans and elevations stamped and signed by a registered architect, and a final site plan stamped and signed by a registered engineer or land surveyor to the Director for Regulatory Planning or designee for review and approval. 2. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit a landscape plan subject to the approval of the Director for Regulatory Planning. The counterbalancing amenities must be executed in accordance with this approved plan. 3. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit to the building commissioner for review and approval the site plans, floor plans, and elevations displaying the approval stamp of the Director for Regulatory Planning, and B, evidence that the Board of Appeals decision has been obtained from the town clerk's office by the applicant or their representative and recorded at the Registry of Deeds. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mark seconds it. All in favor? Mark,
Aye.
Tommy,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. So good luck with this, Mr. Kramer and the owners. And we will do the next case.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
So the next case is 320 Woodland Road. This application is currently existing on the property as a two-story single-family house on a corner lot from Woodland Road and Laurel Road. The application proposal is to tear down that existing 30,000 square feet structure and split it into two lots, each lot with a single-family home on it. Lot A would be 15,000 square feet corner lot with frontage on both Woodland and Laurel Road. Its driveway would be facing Woodland Road. And then Lot B is 15,000 square feet with a frontage on Laurel Road. Both proposed houses are 2 floors with garages connected to unfinished basements. This application requires a design review due to the demolition of the house, but it also requires for Lot A rear lot setback easement because the size of the Lot A lot is an odd shape, along with the fact that Lot B's side setback is right there. Lot A has a larger sides or rear setback requirement than a standard lot would be, which makes it an odd shape. And so the house has to be built within the rear lot setback if there is to be a house on that Lot A. The structure wouldn't fit anywhere else. Both lots conform to all dimensional requirements within the S15. Both lots would not be are about the same size as all other lots in the area, and the houses are about the same as all other houses in the neighborhood. So the planning staff has no drastic change recommendations to the proposed application. And again, I think this is Ashley's if she wants to provide some more background.
Thank you so much, Cameron. Again, Ashley Duval, planner, Arla, 300 Washington Street. On with me this evening is the project manager, Wesley Leung, also the architect team, Timothy Burke, and architect Bianca Rosato. That was a great summary of the project. We would be asking for 2 votes tonight, not to get ahead of myself, but the Lot B is the top lot and Lot A is the bottom lot. So that's how I try to keep track of them. As Cameron said, the rear setback for Lot A relief is requested. There was a version of a site plan that had a lot that conformed, but to save the future homeowners years of litigation fighting over where their fence goes, we thought just having a nice straight line would in the long run be better for everyone. We have reached out to the neighbors to the left of Lot A. They wanted us to push the house as far over as possible, which I think we've done. There's some ledge that we're working with on the site. And then their other kind of request was to screen between the 2 properties. No relief is requested on that side yard, but we did have that conversation with them, and Wesley will share a landscape plan tonight to show you kind of where we're at in terms of developing the landscape plan. Design review is needed for both of the houses, so that's what we're here for tonight. I will turn it over to Mr. Burke, who will be able to share. Hopefully he can share a screen.
Before you do that, Ashley, a question has to do with there was a great deal of tree removal that was done probably about, 5-6 months ago. Was there anything filed with the town in terms of the tree preservation ordinance?
So my understanding is that all tree removal complied with whatever bylaws were in place at the time.
There's a look back 12 months.
Well, so this will have to go through the tree review process when we go for building permit, but my understanding is everything complied and,
Well, I think it's just the question of replacement, which may
yes,
be
and
taken up by
and I'm
landscape
glad you
plan.
mentioned it because a landscape plan wasn't in the package, and we have one for you tonight. So I think they've done a really nice job adding a lot of trees and landscaping. So we'll go over that with the presentation.
Sure. I mean, we don't have to get into all of the details around the.
We'll
tree
tell you
control.
every shrub and tree,
No,
Blair.
I'm only wanting to make sure that for the record,
Mhm.
given all the machinations in town about clearings of trees and the new tree ordinance, to be sure that the applicants have in fact met their legal requirements. So.
Yeah, and I can tell you that they are very diligent in administering that bylaw. Just in the projects we've been going through, they're very thorough in their review, and it's a process we're all learning as well.
And so are we.
All right, Tim?
Thank you very much, Ashley. My name's Timothy Burke. I'm the architect for the project, and I have a business address of 142 Berkeley Street in Boston. I'll share my screen to show the plans here. And let me just make this fit better. Here we go. Yeah, this is the first house. This is the one that's on Woodland Road. The other faces Laurel Road. And this is just a title sheet. I'm going to go right into explain the property here. This is the existing plan. This is Laurel Road, not Lauren Road here, but this was the existing house that is to be demolished. It also had a garage here. As you can see, a very large lot. The proposed plan, and this kind of appears twice because of the two different houses, but the idea is to have the Woodland Road house face Woodland Road, and then the second house, what we call Lot B, faces Laurel Road, and it's set back a little more. This area here on the site is where we can see ledge, and we know there is ledge hiding, waiting for us in other places probably, but we've tried to work around the ledge as much as possible.
The grading plan there shows as if everything's going to be evened out, and there is quite a bit of ledge. Is the idea to keep the ledge and just do the grading beyond the ledge, or is it going to be a lot of ledge removal here too?
We'd like to minimize ledge removal, so the idea would be to grade around the ledge and use it as part of the landscape.
Okay. Because there's a lot of trees along the edge of Laurel Road, which
yeah,
could
these are all to remain. Yes, all the trees that are there now are planned to stay. Yes.
Okay, well, the grade contours might need to be slightly adjusted to achieve that objective.
Yes. Yep, I agree. This is, as Ashley mentioned, we have a landscape design underway. I wanted to show this to you just to give you a feel for the quality of what we're looking to do here. And it is a high quality design in terms of granite pavers for hardscape, and then using trees for screening along this side where this particular neighbor was looking for some screening, which we will provide. And this shows the existing trees that we plan to, that we're going to keep. And then there's additional screening planting between the two properties along the new property line at the rear of this house. In terms of the plans for the house, the first floor is has their living room, dining room, kitchen, and as well as one bedroom. Each house has 5 bedrooms, and this one runs at around 3,600 square feet on the upper levels. There would be a garage down below and an unfinished basement portion under the living room and dining room. This is the roof plan. and the upper level plan with the 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. There's an elevator as well. Here's the elevation of Woodland Road side, the front of the house. And then this is the side that faces to the west. And then the rear of the house has some large glass from the living space out to the backyard. And this is the side at the end towards Laurel Road that has a balcony off the main bedroom and a covered porch off the living room space. The FAR in this district's 0.25, and with the first, second floor and this portion of the basement, we're right at that number. And in terms of materials, there's some renderings. The garage has been kind of tucked down here to kind of hide it a bit. And we'd be looking to use hardy plank siding and then some wood siding that would be used as a feature element on the facades. Fairly large, good sized windows. It would be Marvin Elevate windows and Marvin doors as well. And this is one more rendering of the front of the house. Over on the right here, you see that porch I mentioned, and the main entrance here directly facing Woodland Road.
A quick question, is there could you just slide back? That above the garage, is that inset, that panel? Or is, it looks like they have a shadow line. No, it looks like there's a shadow line above the windows.
Up here, no, it's just a rendering effect, I think. That's all one plane, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And again, the rear of the house, it has a sort of almost a prairie style with the kind of low sloped roof and the Frank Lloyd Wright technique of sort of separating the 2 levels from each other and stressing the lower, more public level. The second house, what we call Lot B, facing Laurel Road, it's a little different situation in terms of the topography. It would still have a garage under this side. These are some diagrams showing how we meet all the open space and landscape area. This is the original existing site plan, and then the proposed plan here. And for the landscape for this one, it has a similar approach in terms of using screening between the 2 houses, maintaining existing trees wherever we can, and then some elegant paths for the walkways and the patios using bluestone and granite. This gives you an idea of the types of plantings that they're looking to use for screening, and then for more accent, such as the paper birch. The plan is somewhat similar in terms of having 1 bedroom on this first floor, and then the rest is all living space. Again, opening onto a patio to to this side of the house. The basement again is the garage under and a space for an elevator with the machine for it. The ACs or condensers will be tucked into the back there. The upper level, again, has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. In terms of the elevations, again, sort of ideas that these 2 houses talk to each other. They have similar details and materials. That's the front and the side, and then this is the rear and the side. We don't have quite the nice grading that we have at the other house in terms of direct access, but we will have access from this porch here from the living space. These are the FAR diagrams. Again, we've excluded that unfinished basement portion there. And again, we're coming in right at a 0.24 with the FAR. And some renderings of the house showing the similar materials, some wood cladding to use as accent points, and then hardy plank siding for the majority of the facade. This one has a slightly different approach in terms of how the materials are treated on the exterior. And then some renderings of the house here from Laurel Road, and the rendering of the back of the house here. So that's a brief explanation of the project. I'd be, if there's any particular view you would like to see, I can put it up here, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Members of the planning board, comments, questions?
I'll make a stab here. I'm just uncomfortable with these elevations, and I'm not sure I understand how the materials interact and what the materials are. Sort of the windows with this big window, the long sort of suburban window over the garage, and then these, I don't know what they are, casements above. I keep seeing a face, but there, to me, it's sort of an uncomfortable look. This one, not as much as actually the, what, this is A, no, this is B, whatever. This is A, yeah, the B elevation. The other sides, I don't have a problem with, but this, I'm not it just, I'm not getting it. It looks like it's very, very busy, but I'm not seeing a pattern here. Anyway, I'm having problems with this elevation. The other ones I'm fine with, and and the idea of doing a straight line, I'm fine with as far as say boundary. I can understand that, so I understand the relief. But if we have design review, I'm not buying this elevation, I have to say.
I think that shadowing that's between the white material and the grayish material, which apparently makes it look like that's recessed.
Yeah, but there's also
problematic.
normally, you would have bigger windows on the first floor and smaller, do you know what I mean? It's sort of a hierarchy here. And that's not a hard rule, but there's something about this sort of smallish window that's afloat down there. I'm not getting. I don't know if anybody else has the same issue but the shadow lines don't help, that's for sure.
Linda, I wasn't going to be the first to bring it up because, I'm, more urban planner and attorney is my background as opposed to architect. But I think everything that Linda was just saying rings true for me. I find the design a little, I don't know, especially the one we're looking at right now. I think I like the other one a little bit better, other than the stairwell window. I kind of don't like that it doesn't match the other vertical windows on the front of the house. I guess that's a little nitpicky, but otherwise, I totally hear what Linda is saying, and I have those same feelings.
Could I just, on that point, I think this other elevation makes a good case for, I think, what's making Linda and Tommy and me uncomfortable. In this house, there's a clear separation between the first and, even though the materials don't change, the separation between the first and second floor is about where you'd expect it to be. Whereas on the other house, these gray panels, and the fact that there's this probably faux shadow is at a funny place. It's like at the sill of the second floor windows. It kind of it kind of fudges the relationship between the floors for a reason that I don't get. It makes those 3 windows above the garage seem kind of puny in this big field of gray. So I'll just chime in on that. But I actually had 2 other more zoning related questions.
Before you jump onto that, I'm wondering, just to build on what you, Linda, and Tommy were commenting. On this, is it the kind of corner board that that's in white that kind of carries the color and material that's on the second floor down to kind of wrap that little gray panels? I'm just wondering if the grate panels really lived on their own without being delineated or, you know, or framed, whether that would simplify the design, the elevation or the design. I don't know if that's what you were driving at, or it's something that bothers me.
Well, it doesn't wrap around too. I mean, if you look at the other elevations, I'm
Right,
not
well,
sure
that's
what's
fine.
happening on the side. So it's sort of, it's just sort of a, yeah, I mean, I appreciate Steve's comment about this sort of arbitrary nature of where the first floor is being ended, and not, it doesn't help those little windows at all.
They're not that little, but they're made to seem.
Yeah, yeah, it looks more like a
Screen.
fireplace in this oops, sorry.
Yeah, they're actually quite large, the windows, yeah.
Yeah, but they, you know, sort of looks like a, and maybe it's the rendition, it looks like a fireplace. Because the windows are so dark and they're surrounded sort of by this, I don't know if it's stone-like, or is it stone, or, you know,
No, it
sort
was
of clear?
in a different color, yeah. Yep.
Huh. And I think, yes, I think the side brackets framing it,
Could we look,
doesn't
could we
help.
wrap around the other elevations, the left side elevation of it, and that's next
Yes.
to the garages? I'm wondering if that might help us here. You don't have a colored one though.
No, I have just the front and the back and the renderings. Let me
Because
just,
I think that, I mean, it seems to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, other members of the board, that our concern is more on this one than it is on the other. Is that fair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about either of them, but this one I think it you know has an odd character to this
Yeah.
elevation.
I think if you look at that driveway, I think you might be able to pull into the garage, but if you tried to back out without hitting that wall,
Yeah, I don't understand the driveways. That's sort of a whole nother.
yeah, I mean, I
another
can
topic.
understand. I think that the driveway is sort of a trendy thing, like the facade of the building, and so you know I can understand why it was done, but I think if you bring the walls back to to the edge, it would be a lot easier. As a matter of fact, it looks like the driveways are not replicated on the civil drawings.
Yeah, I think the renderings are off because on the other house, the rendering of the driveway in front of the garage is almost nonsensical.
it does look a little odd. I think it's just a factor of how the program works, how it looks at it, yeah.
Well, it would be helpful to have a section showing the grade of the driveway in relationship to the house. I mean, is it just, I'm assuming there's gonna be some kind of French drain or something down at the end, because it looks like a total problem, I guess.
No, you're right. There would be a drain there to catch any water that comes down.
How the wall is and how deep the cut is into the grade, I don't understand, right? I guess if I could read the elevations, I would do that.
If you pull up the site plan, I think that the driveway elevation into Lot A, it's fairly, it looks like it's about 1 in maybe 5, 1 in 15 feet, is that right? The
It's
100
about a 3-foot drop.
No, you have from 101 to 99.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 foot,
2 foot. So that
2.4 feet, yeah.
Yeah, so that seems more reasonable, although I
That's
think
pretty
that
minor, yes,
I
yeah.
think that the garage that's on the right side here, I don't know how you get in and out of that, so I think you need to look at that. I'm more concerned about this one, which looks like you're at about, what is that, a 15% slope?
And 10% slope.
I mean, you're gonna be backing out of that in the snow and getting up onto Laurel Street. I think that's a bit of, I was looking at the grading and I just felt like the grading was not, just looked like it was done without really examining the site with much detail. because everything falls away to the lower left-hand corner on lot B. And so you have all that water, you're changing the grade, and it's still going where it's always going, so I guess in that sense it's legal. I'm wondering what you're gonna do for storage here of water, because it's all ledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Blair, happy to, we'll have to do a comprehensive stormwater
Yeah, I'm just bringing
plan,
that up
right?
because I think
DPW,
I
it's
think it's
very
gonna be
strict. And I could also say, so 10% is what the bylaw requires, and we meet that. So, and we have spent a lot of time with the engineer talking through the site because, like I said, there's ledge, and so we wanted to put the places in where it made the most sense. And so 10% is what's required, so we're meeting that, like a lot of other driveways. But we can certainly provide, and I think the rendering, it looks deeper to me when I look at it. And Tim's nodding his head, so I think that's a rendering issue too, making it look much steeper than what it actually is.
Well, I'm also wondering why you need a 10-foot from the garage elevation to the first floor. And why can't you help yourself out and bring the garage floor up a bit? Because the rest of the basement is just empty basement.
Correct. Yeah.
So
So
it
yeah, you're
strikes
right.
me
We
that
could
that-
definitely do that. Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be worth, really making the basement a differential minimal. Because that would take, if you could take 2 feet out of that driveway, I think you would, the owner of this will eventually love you for it.
Yes.
The only other thing that was striking me is that the proposed porch, or that's off, that's down, that's not coplanar with the first floor, is it?
Just one step off, step down
Okay.
onto it. So,
And that elevation is 111? I just want to look at the grade there. If you
oh,
go
okay.
back.
Sorry. Yep. Go back to that.
So that's 111, and the grade beyond that is what I was looking at. A little wider.
108.
Yeah, so that's going to be standing kind of quite a bit up. It seems to me that some kind of a landscape retaining wall along there, so you could bring the grade up to be a little closer to the edge of that porch, so people might be able to step off of it down a step or two, would be desirable.
Yes. Yep.
Blair, are you done?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Just
Ta.
picking up on your suggestion about bringing the floor level of the garage and this lot up, or reducing the floor to ceiling height of the garage and basement. That brings up one of the issues I wanted to ask you about, which is that both these houses are at their FAR maximum with these unfinished basements, which are large. Doesn't that, and it wasn't cited for this, but don't both of these properties then also require the finding? Is it section 5.22?
It's 5.092N.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
the design review section, and what the building department has done in their denial letter, because multiple sections were triggered. That O section, because we're demolishing a house that was found significant. So both N and O are technically triggered here. The condition that is normally recommended is basically that we'll have to comply with 5.22 in 10 years if the basement space is ever to be converted. So Steve, you're right, that is part of the design review as well.
Yeah,
Actually, we don't have that as a condition, because in talking with Paul, he said that that originally you were thinking of maybe in the future finishing the basements, but that then you had changed your mind and that was not being proposed.
So I think it's ultimately design review is triggered. We're not arguing with that, so we need a special permit under 509. But you're right, the base, and I think, Tim, part of the basement is already included in the FAR calculation.
Correct.
So these houses, a lot of times you'll see, as this board knows, the FAR is maxed out on the first and the second floors. That's not what's happening here. FAR is being included in the basements.
Well, a very small amount. I mean, it is basically maxed out on the first and second floors here. And I do think that this 5.09 subsection
Yeah.
dealing with any, and I see there are not a lot of basement windows included. It's not clearly a walkout basement, but there's certainly looks like a full ceiling height basement that could in the future be converted to additional space with some modifications to grading. So I think that should be included. My other concern is just this request for relief for the rear yard setback. Could you move this image down to lot A?
I have both of them here, yes.
Right,
And
but just to
Steve,
zoom in on A a little bit. And just, can you just show me what the zoning envelope is, which you say makes this unbuildable without the special permit?
This here, this 40-foot setback here,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a corner lot, so we have the 2 front yards.
You have 2 front yards that are 25 feet each, and then you have 1 side yard, right?
Do we have
Correct.
the image up? I'm not looking at it.
So,
No, but
so
it'll be twice the front yard.
Can you
So-
make the image smaller so we can see the whole site?
Yes.
I'm not seeing it at all. Did I do something wrong?
There you go.
I wouldn't say you did something wrong, but you're maybe not in the right place.
I can't, I'm not in the right place. I can't see anything except your lovely faces.
So, I mean,
think-
here's my, so you have 2 front yards, Laurel Road and Woodland Road. You have 1 side yard and 1 rear yard. Your side yard setback is 15 feet. It
Correct.
looks like you have that here.
Yep.
And then your rear yard setback is 40 feet, and that's here. What if this were your side yard setback, 15 feet, and then your rear yard setback was here? Couldn't you move this? I know you've got some ledge, but couldn't you move this whole house over? I mean, you have a 15,000 square foot lot. You shouldn't need zoning relief to build a new house on a 15,000 square foot corner lot, in my opinion.
So Tim, do you
we
want to speak
generally,
to
I mean,
the
planning board,
ledge?
we've generally been saying that, new structures shouldn't need zoning relief. You should, especially if you're not, I don't know the extent of the ledge. I can't really, it's hard to see. It's grayed out on this plot plan, but I'm not convinced that you couldn't build a conforming house.
So that's what I think I mentioned at the beginning, Steve, is there was a version of this that had kind of some wild property lines, chopping it up so that it could comply with that 40 feet. And again, there's a lot of ledge. My understanding, and Tim, please correct me if I'm wrong here, is that we're trying to avoid having to blast and deal with ledge as much as possible and have moved the house as far to the right as we think is makes sense. And so the request for the relief, as I said, is to save the future neighbors from figuring out where their fence line is. And it's relief kind of asking from each other, right? So,
Well, I'm not talking about doing a crazy property line. With these existing property lines, I see this grayed out existing building, which is sitting right here, more or less.
Yep.
I mean, if you move this building, the new building, over to where this building is sitting, you would easily have 40 feet here and 15 feet there.
I think that would really be, you're just driving it right into a gigantic ledge there.
right.
Stephen.
I didn't go
I
look at
was
the site, but I
wondering-
see an existing building way over there. So on this plan, I mean,
No, Blair's got it
higher
exactly
elevation.
right.
The only thing I was wondering about, see, just to offer another option, if you look at where build lot A, it says proposed lot line where that little call off goes up. What if you had a bend in the property line somewhere along there? So rather than it being totally, and that it went, that's to give a little bit more space between the proposed building and its current location. The rear yard just kind of has an angle there, one joint, probably somewhere near the lot line the contour line that looks like 107. Right there. If you then, I wonder if that would just, I know you need to have both of the areas be.
I have to do the same on this side, yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
No, I don't
have
know.
an
I wasn't
S.
thinking about, you just have a simple bend. One bend in the fence line would really not be traumatic.
Well,
And
if I'm the only member of the board that's bothered by needing zoning relief to build a house on a 15,000 square foot lot, I'll shut up. But
I
No,
think that,
You're right.
sorry,
Steve,
Linda.
Really. I'm sorry. He is right. I can't see things, which is really frustrating. I'm not seeing the plans. I don't know why something changed in my direction here, but this has been one of our gripes for sure. It's been brought up every time we're meeting this, so do you have to eliminate one of the children's bathrooms? I don't know.
I mean, I think
Just for devil's advocate, Steve,
yep.
if you move it, it's the same size building on the same size lot. Yes, its position is different, but from the pedestrian walking down the street, you're really it's not gonna noticeably impact,
right.
what's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is an area with large properties, so this house where it's being cited is pretty close to the adjacent building, 310 Woodland Road. Are the neighbors okay with this being this giant structure like?
So
70
that setback does comply.
Yeah.
I think we actually have more than what's required. Is that right, Tim? And we have spoken with them. And as I said, their request was to move it as far to the right as possible. From speaking with the engineers and the architect, it's over as far as possible. One of the big concerns I think in the neighborhood is having to blast. And nobody wants to have to blast ledge. And certainly when we're looking at a project for new construction, I always say, like, you have to comply unless there's a really compelling reason, something about the site that's driving the need for the request. And when you have ledge, when you have control over both properties, I can tell you Lot B does not object to the requested setback relief for that rear yard. I'm very confident in that. And like I said, we had a zigzag thing, but because each lot needs that 15,000 square feet, you need to meet all these other things, especially where you're dealing with a corner lot. It's a lot of different moving pieces. And I looked at that and I was like, there's no way anyone's going to want to deal with the fence situation of this and figuring out where the lot lines are.
Well,
And so we felt a kind of more reasonable approach was to say, sorry.
The existing dwelling, I'm looking at the gray, the finished floor is at 109.36, and your new structure, finished floor, 109.44. So more or less exactly the same elevation. You're telling me you can't move this new structure to more or less where the existing structure is sitting on the right side?
Yeah, I had the same question. I'm confused about that as well.
You would have a very small rear yard, but again, I'm not sure that's.
Well, you
Well, but
could-
if we're talking about moving it to the right, I'm unclear on why the current house is able to be much further to the right as well.
Anyway, if the neighbor doesn't object, you're saying 310 doesn't object, they said they would like it moved as far to the right as possible. You're meeting the minimum zoning requirement.
We have more for that side yard than what's
16, yeah, you have an
required.
extra foot or two, okay.
And we've agreed to provide nice screening between the properties there. So that was my understanding. There are two requests: is can you screen it and move it over as far as possible? I'm not the expert on engineering and site planning. I rely on what the engineers and the architects are telling me. And this is they're looking at the site, and I know that there's an existing house there. I don't think it has a basement or a full basement at least, right?
Right.
So that's also impacting it. I think Blair's kind of analysis was spot on, that we're getting closer and closer to ledge. If that would obviously be the easiest thing for us to do, right? Is to just move it over.
Well, I
But
think you could move it over 5 feet. And I'm also wondering why that you can't rotate if you held the lower left-hand corner, I'm sorry, the upper left corner of the garage, and you rotated it counterclockwise about 5 degrees or something. It would bring I have no problem with relief for the rear yard myself. I'm just thinking about how it might fit just a little nicer on the lot with a little bit less blasting and everything else or bang away with a hammer for 4 months. That would be my only comment.
Well, I'll just play one more card, which is to say, okay, good to know that the existing house is slab on grade, why even bother building this huge basement that is not habitable and you're not going to use it, at least not for 10 years? Build a house slab on grade, just like the existing house, except for the garage or a small basement area, for mechanical equipment, but not a couple thousand square feet of space that you're not allowed to use.
Or maybe there's some basement and some slab on grade, which would save a lot of money in terms of getting rid of the ledge, because I think you're going to be in the ledge everywhere you look here.
I see Tim nodding. So Tim, do you have a response to that makes sense with the site?
Well, I'm agreeing that, we're very concerned about running into ledge. That certainly is an option if we were to not have any basement over a portion of the house. It does create some more challenges with the construction, but it's doable. Yes.
Anyway, I'll stop.
I hear you, Steve.
I think what would be very helpful here, and I'm not sure I need to make it a condition, but I think that you need to have the trees that are currently there, because there was an awful lot that were cut down, and that those trees should control the grading, not somebody sitting on their desk on the computer and just running lines. Because I think there are a few trees that are at the corner of Laurel and Woodland Road. I don't know if they've taken everything back off that was down on the, where you have Lot B written. There were a lot of trees that were removed there. So I'm not sure what's left in that area, but I think an updated survey that shows where the existing trees are would inform the grading and inform the landscape plan.
Yes. Yep.
And I think you're going to end up doing it anyway. I mean, at the point that someone's going to be doing the landscaping or the site work, they're going to be looking at this and saying, what the hell are we taking out more ledge for? We can just leave it there and we have some existing trees. But I think you're just you're going to be doing it anyway before you build this thing. So I think it would be useful information now for the design team.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
I'm not ready to approve this. I just want to flag that. I'm not ready to approve it.
I was going to ask a question, if I could.
Please, Mark.
Is it possible to rotate the house on Lot B up so that the driveway is less steep, and that because it looks like the setback line is up near that 105 number?
This is it right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about
So
this.
is it possible to rotate that so that you're closer to and rethink the grades?
If we were to raise the garage floor, yes. Right now, they need that distance to, meet the 10%, but since if we rotate it, we have less distance, but if we could compensate by raising the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the building could also be L-shaped. with the garage out front, like the existing garage was.
Well, I think that's a really good point, Mark, that you made, because
I mean, I realize the marketing issue here with these houses and their layouts, but it looks to me like that the house was designed for the marketing and the site was bent to fit. That old image, you get bent to fit, paint to match,
Beat to fit.
Beat to fit, paint to match. Yeah. I mean, it looks like that's what's happening to the site here. Plus, there's a hell of a lot of exposed, cellar wall on the backside of House B or Project B.
Okay, so what do you want, Tim and Ashley, what do you want to do? Do you want to reconsider some of the design issues, or?
Yeah, I think we've got
Feedback?
some feedback and some homework to do. I just want to make sure that I understand and that Tim understands. So on Lot A, I'm doing this to scroll. Can you scroll down to Lot A? You want us to look and see if we can move it over 5 feet to the right.
and then possibly rotate it slightly counterclockwise, which will give you a little more room, a little more front yard space.
Counterclockwise. Okay. And
but
understanding moving
also-
it. Oh, sorry, Blair.
I was going to say, I think if you do that, it also I think the grade is lower up that direction, but maybe I'm wrong. I can't see the existing conditions. I just see
No, it
the,
goes up to the upper right. It goes up.
I know upper right. I was just wondering to the lower, the upper left, I think it's all dropping away. I'm just not sure how that works.
Yeah,
Existing, where the existing contours are.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a number here for you. Here's 108 here. So
Oh, I see what you're
7,
saying.
106, 105, 104. 104 is
Right.
pretty close to where it is now. Yep.
Right. Well, that's what, so I'm thinking if you did rotate it, wouldn't that relieve you of some of the grading, or is that making it worse if you rotate it 5 or 10 degrees?
I'll have to look at that. Yes.
Yeah, take a look at it.
yeah.
We're not trying to design it right now for you, but just to give you a thought too.
I do like the house to be somewhat square to the street. I think that's a nice thing to do, but yeah, we'll look at that.
And then for lot B,
Sorry, Polly, just so on lot A, moving over does not change the rear yard setback relief. It doesn't change any of the zoning relief, but it would give a little bit more breathing room between 310. And that's,
That's the objective.
I just want to be clear. Okay. And then design wise, you wanted us to take a look at the window sizing and material treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was the
Kind
way
of
in which
box
those
and-
blocks, the blocking of the, kind of a gray area against the wood. I just think that, how you're finishing it looks like it needs just a little bit more reconsideration.
Okay.
Yeah, the way that looks, that, above the garage in particular.
One too many materials, in my opinion.
Okay. So we'll look at the number of materials as well.
Yep.
I imagine Bianca is taking notes as well. So
Yes.
we'll capture as much as we can. And then, so that's lot A, and then lot B, you'd like us to look at, this is where you want us to look at raising the garage elevation to reduce the slope for
grade.
better
yeah.
And
access for
possibly-
cars.
And this would be another example. I mean, this building is not parallel with the road. I mean, maybe rotating this and moving it towards the front yard setback a bit could take some of the amount of grading away.
Okay.
Correct.
But in terms of the window treatment and materials, was this the one that the board was comfortable with, or at least more comfortable with?
Yeah, this one didn't kind of, no, this is the other one, right?
That's I'm just trying to find
Yeah,
that.
this
for
one
you.
didn't set off any alarm bells quite as much as
Well, yeah.
the other one.
I
Less
would
triggering.
take a, yeah,
Okay.
less triggering. Not a heavy word, but okay, let's go with it.
I mean,
It's after 9.
my 2 cents on this is you have vertical windows and then you have a horizontal band over the garage. So, I mean, I realize what you're trying to do here, but everything is vertical and then that's the only horizontal you have on the facade. Maybe you can work with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Break them
So
up.
none of those things I think impact our denial letter or any of the zoning relief that we needed. So obviously we'd love to come back for final design review. I understand if that's not something the board's comfortable with. I'll also note I don't think public comment's been taken yet
Oh,
for this
good, good.
project.
Just
but
one thing, I mean,
Ashley, I
now that we're
do
looking
think-
at this rendering again, I can see how hugely foreshortened the driveway appears.
Yeah, the rendering
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
really
is
Kind
rough.
of, nothing like what's on the site plan.
And also, actually, I think you have to have 5.09N on the denial letter.
So we have 5092, which includes all of those sections.
Right. But
So I would
typically
like
we'll call out 5.09N.
That's
Yeah,
that's fine. We have no problem with that. We have no problem with the condition that staff
Right.
typically includes. It doesn't change anything for the project.
Right, we will have public comment, but I just wanted to poll members of the planning board, because we are continue this. I don't personally have an issue with the relief needed on the rear yard. The rest of the board, does anyone strongly oppose that condition? I know you brought it up, Steve.
Well, I mean, I have a philosophic issue with the sort of the big picture that
I do,
we
and I
shouldn't
usually
need to
do
give
too, but
relief to new structures on huge sites. But does this specific thing really irk me? No.
Yeah, well, and I think too, you could probably, in addition to having like a really crooked property line, you could then dress it up with a bunch of things that are stuck onto the deed that give people certain rights to certain properties. So I think you'd get there eventually, but it seems like
It's a lot of billable
seems
hours,
unnecessary.
Tommy, to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It seems
I
it
also
seems like
think
it'd be
that
creating a lot of like weird, legal amendments to the deeds to just get it looking right. So I think I'm okay with the building envelope personally.
And we don't want the legal
wanna-
fees on this project to exceed the construction costs.
There-
Oh,
Steve, that's where your
I used
hierarchy
to
of
write a lot of
philosophy
deeds.
is.
It's a painful process sometimes.
Well, I just want to, reiterate Ashley's comment about the amount of ledge. So I think that's a reasonable justification for, offering relief along the rear property line. I think our other comments had more to do with the grading and the impact of that and the relationship between the building and the street. I don't personally think, unless someone else on the board really wants to object, that this is a consequential relief that we're offering. I think the issue about the architecture and the relationship to building the street seems to me to be more important. Am I speaking just for myself or are other people in agreement with that?
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So Ashley, we're going to be with you on the relief.
Okay, do we want to take public comment tonight,
we
or do
do
we
indeed.
want to wait until it's continued and
No,
then?
I think particularly given the fact that the abutter to the left on the lot on Woodlawn Road wants to have some more setback, I think that's certainly noted, and I would agree with that. So public comment, has anyone raised their hand?
No one's raised their hand, but I received an email that I can read into the record now
Please.
for the public comment.
Yes.
I'm just gonna read it. This is from Eric Seitz. I'm just gonna read it as is. We don't believe these proposed buildings are architecturally fitting in the Laurel Road and Woodland area, which is predominantly colonial revival houses, and the existing house has historical significance given its age of 1936 and also being constructed by a well-known builder and architect, Joseph D. Leland. We don't feel as if the new proposed building will fit in with the neighborhood and would take away from the historical significance of this neighborhood as well as property value to the neighborhood. The property is primarily built on ledge. How are they planning on removing the ledge for the basement garage? Are they going to blast? Do they have any additional insurance in place to protect themselves from any vibrations or damage caused to neighboring properties due to the removal of ledge? And then 3, they state that the natural landscape of trees and that the existing plantings will be maintained. A lot of these trees and plants have already been illegally removed. They finished by saying, I oppose this project and plan on appealing the special permit application. And that is the
What is
email.
the address of that person?
The address is 11 Laurel.
I think that's across the street, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
So that wasn't part of the package that we saw before this meeting, I guess.
No, I received it maybe 30 minutes before this meeting started, but it will be included in the package online after this meeting.
I think I'm going to offer one further comment, and I think we've said this before, which is, going to 99.9% of the allowable FAR seems to be a goal of a lot of these redevelopments, which I think really should be re-examined. I mean, you could have this building be slightly smaller and create a lot less expense in terms of the site work that's required. And maybe at the end of the day, they make the same amount of money and possibly more if you weren't doing quite so much of the ledge removal that you're going to have to do here. So I would recommend to Ashley and the architect to talk to the owner about whether some reduction of the overall size of this building might be financially thoughtful and positive.
Thank you for those comments. We'll have that conversation with them.
Okay. Well, thank you for enduring our many, many comments.
Always appreciated design review, there's always a lot of back and forth, but
Yeah.
I think Tim is familiar with this board and in the past has done, I think, a really nice job incorporating the comments. So
Yeah, we'll get going back to the drawing board. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Ted.
you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Do we have-
Okay, one last thing on the agenda, which is,
Yeah, do we have to vote on a continuance? No.
I don't
well,
think
it
so.
isn't a bad idea.
Okay,
I'm gonna make a motion that we continue this case. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Linda seconds it.
Hmm.
All in favor, Linda,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Tommy,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. So we're officially continuing this, and thank you for your listening to our thoughts.
Great.
yeah, thanks for the time tonight.
Okay. Polly, before we vote on
Yeah.
the new chairperson, I did want to say something.
Thank
Polly had asked me if I wanted to continue as chair for another is it 2 years or 3 years? I forget what it was. And I really didn't think I was wanted to be chair for additional 2 years. And so I was asking whether someone else was might be interested. And I understand that Matt is interested, and he's been really a very important voice on the board since he's been here. Very thoughtful, very judicious in his comments. So I'm for one am going to support him, and hope we have a unanimous decision here.
And also you should know that I did speak with Andrea and she really wanted to stay as clerk at this point.
Well, I think that's a great idea. If Matt wants to do that, I'd also say, in addition to the qualities that Blair mentioned, Matt has shown himself to be incredibly adept at using technology to, show us, like while we're in the meeting, what the streetscape looks like, or even, pointing out flaws in renderings and fixing them on the fly. So I think he's au courant with technology in a way that some of us old codgers aren't.
Yes, and just as you, Steve, stepped down from chair and still are a very active member and give great suggestions, Blair will continue to put in his 2 cents, and especially about some of the landscape issues that he knows so well. So you'll still play an important role on the board, Blair.
Well, I do, and I think the other thing that's been a factor for me is that I've become quite engaged with the kind of political situation in our country. And I've been going away, and I'm planning on going away in this fall to Pennsylvania Supreme Court election and to Virginia. I mean, I will attend via Zoom, but sometimes the Zoom in the middle of nowhere is iffy. So I will be out of town. So do we need to make a nomination? And if so,
Yes,
I'm gonna
we need a
nominate
motion.
Matt, for the chair of the planning board.
And if I can, I'm happy to do it. I will from time to time need Andrea or another alternate because the Wednesday meetings, I sometimes have work conflicts. So just putting that out there. I'm hoping
Sure.
we have support for stand-in chairs at certain times.
Well, everybody's been good at doing that, so
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
I'd like to nominate Matt Hyatt to be chair of the planning board.
And I will
Second
second
it.
Okay, all those in favor, who second that? Mark,
Aye.
Blair,
aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Tommy,
Aye.
and Linda votes aye.
And I couldn't hear, did you also say something about Andrea?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Somebody can do that one.
Okay, thank you for stepping in, Linda.
I will
It's getting
nominate
late, you know.
Andrea to continue serving as clerk. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor, Matt,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Blair,
Aye.
Tommy,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
and I vote aye.
Aye,
One
aye.
one more thing about Matt. Matt, your first term of service as a chair of a design advisory team on the 40 Camp 40 Webster project. I think you pulled off a really, you did a great job there, even though I was like kicking and screaming about like the way the direction of the project was going, and because I guess I had some invested, time into the previous strategy, but I think you really brought the project around to a successful conclusion, and I hope you have time to do more of those down the road.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. I've enjoyed, obviously, very much being part of this group and look forward to continued collaboration.
Great. And with that, I will say goodnight to everybody. Thank you very much. And thank you to Cameron for doing a great job for his first.
And have a great trip. Come back.
Yes, come back.
Mhm.
Don't
Thank
fall
you.
in love too much with Japan.
All right. Good night, everyone.
And,
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.